It was the year 1998. I was about to complete my higher education. The 15th August has come, and we invited one reputed, a famous author to our school. The decision that we have taken, we don't know that it will change our lives. He came and he narrated a beautiful story, which I want to share with you. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to share with you few stories and then tell you how stories can actually increase your brand, and the help of Gen AI, how you can make stories the most attracting magnets, whether it is for a job or your hike or anything for that matter. Stories can be the keys to unlock your potential and your prosperity. So here is a small story that he narrated. Time is unknown, but during the age when British were ruling our motherland, there is a small town somewhere in West Bengal. Nobody knows what that name of the small town or village you can call. Bright sunny day, somewhere at the peak or at the heart of the country in Calcutta, basically, the Vande Mataram movement was going full rise. People were chanting Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. They were boycotting all the things produced or made by British. So in that small town, somebody spoke about Vande Mataram movement, and it was heard by a small boy, hardly 7 years, and he was visualizing the things what would have happened. So he picked up a stick, tied to it, that time the flag, and on the streets of the village, on the main road, he stepped, and with that small hands, with small steps, with that small voice, he started shouting, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. People who were watching him smiled. The workers who were working there turned their heads and they told, The ladies who were lifting heavy weight of water, milk, curd, they were smiling at him, looking at him. And they were offering some sweets if they were selling some sweets. He was rejecting everything and he was going on his way chanting Vande Mataram. From nowhere came this big horse, on top of which is this British officer. He stopped at the boy. Utter silence. Everyone in the street started watching what is going to happen. The British officer told, What are you doing? The child, in response, shouted Vande Mataram. The British officer got annoyed. He told, If you shout again, you will be under the feet of my horse. The small boy did not buzz. Vande Mataram. Now, it's like a challenge to this British officer. He got down from the horse, came near the little boy and stood like this and asked, Now shout again. The little boy again shouted, Vande Mataram. Now this changed the scene of the street. People were stopping. Everyone who were traveling were stopping, and the mob was slowly getting accumulated. The British officer took his gun, pointed the end of the gun to the child's heart, and he said, One more time, and the bullet will be in your heart. The child did not buzz. He shouted, Vande Mataram. After that, there was this shot of rifle, and the small body fell few feet away. The people on the street were just shocked. They were not able to digest what has just happened to the small boy, the playful little boy who was amusing people. People were thought that he is some child who is just trying to do something that his father might have done. But the sudden death shocked them. Among the beat, among the mob, two young people started shouting Vande Mataram. I don't know what happened next. Neither the British officer, nor the village name, nor any traces of this story were left in history. But this story got etched in my mind. From there, I realized that something bigger in life matters more than life. Stories, ladies and gentlemen, are so powerful. I haven't lived those situations, that life, but I lived the moment that the small boy, when I was about to complete my higher education, can you recollect what are those moments in your life when you were completing your 10th standard higher education, where your hormones were rushing, you want to be independent, you want to take your decisions, you are being told that complete the 10th standard and you are settled or you are an adult. At that stage, hearing this kind of story etched in my mind that purpose is more larger than life, but the purpose has to be so big. So this is story number 1 for you. Fast forward, 3 months later, I had something very bad to share with you. And this story again etched in my mind another small child's face. 25 plus years after that incident, I still get the dreams. I still get in my dreams that small boy who lived along with us. Those were the days when we were having detached bathrooms and attached relationships, unlike attached bathrooms and detached relationships. Those were the times when the streets were having once in a while one Bajaj scooter or a Premier Padmini or an ambassador car. And in our street, it was only one ambassador car. That time, my aunt, being a famous professor in a top college of our city, with her influence, was able to get first time to our house a phone. And we were the second people in our street to get that phone. One was the lawyer by our side who used to stay. So we used to rush every time the phone call used to come. And all children wants to pick up the receiver and speak the first word. We fell in love with the word called hello. It was our favorite word. In front of us, we had these other small kids with whom we used to play on streets because there was no traffic. Hey, hit. 7 picks have to come, hit him on the back. You understand? Lagori. The 7 picks game, we used to play a lot. Among the people that we play with in my team was this boy called Vijay. Vijay had a terrible life. 8 years of that small child's life, he has seen his mother's death. And after his mother's death, his father, because he was a small child, married the sisters of his wife. Few years later, due to some disease, his father expired. And a year later, his aunt also expired. 3 deaths. But Vijay, always smiling. I have seen him literally crying, falling on the body of his mother. But whenever he used to come to games, he was always smiling. He used to dissolve himself in the game. One day, his brother came to our house with a bad news. Because since 3 days, we were not seeing Vijay playing with us. I asked his brother, Kishore, what happened? Oh, you don't know? Vijay is in Hyderabad. Hyderabad? We were staying in a city, now big, Vijayawada. But Hyderabad was a big city for us at that point of time. I asked him, like, what happened? He told, even I don't know. He was feeling some dizziness, and my uncle took him to doctor, and they told he has to be sent to Hyderabad. Ladies and gentlemen, for 15 days, every night at 9 o'clock, we used to get a phone call. His uncle calling from there. Kishore coming to our house, answering the call. I later realized at those times, there used to be something called as brain fever. I still don't know what it is, but Vijay got that. We were now, the children were scared of telephone calls. 9 p.m., we are scared to lift the receiver. One day it happened at 9:15, unusual time, we got the call. I was the first one to pick up. I don't know that I will be the first person to receive that news. The other side, his uncle was crying. I understood what it was. Vijay was no more. The small boy was no more. The one who was playing with us, he was no more. Sorry. I had to carry the news back to his house. I don't know how I walked out of my house, crossed the street to the other side, and conveyed that news. For coming 30 days, none in our street played Lagori. None in our street, in fact, came out of our houses. Ladies and gentlemen, stories are our extensions. It is what we humans are made of. So much powerful and so much emotional. Today, I want you to capture the power of that story and move the mountains. If you can move the mountains, let me tell you, you can move your career with no effort. So let me share my screen. I'm trying to compose myself. What you experienced from the first incident that I narrated from my life was dopamine. It was all motivation that inspired me to take a decision in my life at the age of 41 to quit my job because I visualized a bigger purpose. The second one, when I narrated, you were able to resonate with me and you were able to feel that I am just like any human. You felt that empathy with me. If someone would have been there by my side, you would have definitely hugged me. How many of you say that, Vamsi, come now once and I'll hug you? Raise your hand. Because I'm devastated. I get dreams of Vijay now and then. That's the power of story that happens in our life. The second chemical that releases when you have empathy in your life is oxytocin. The 3 C's in your story when you want to narrate. If you recollect my 2 stories that I just narrated, the first one was character. It was me. I was narrating from my side. I really don't know if Vijay is there in minds of my brother. I used to ask them, they say, yeah, that person I know. But for me, he was my team buddy. I remember his face, always smiling face. Whenever I used to eat something, come and ask, Anna, koncham, nakuda, in Telugu. It's my story. I am the character. Yes, this is the conflict of my life. I might have heard that experience was there in my teenage, but Vijay's face will come even if I am alive and I am asleep at 90 years of my age. If a dream comes, Vijay's face will remain intact. My face would have got deformed, but Vijay's fresh face, that chubby cheeks, that ringed hair, I will still remember. The conflict is what it taught me. And finally, the conclusion of any story. The first story gave me the purpose of life. The second story told me that when there is a difficulty, Vamsi, be like Vijay. Ha, V for Vamsi, V for Vijay, and V for victory. That's when, with a spinal cord injury, when I was not able to give my examinations for my second semester, and even in second year, and in the third year, when they said that if you are not able to complete all the subjects, you cannot go to third year. And I got frightened, scared to death that I can't have an engineering of 5 years. I remembered Vijay. When I was struggling for my job with my second class engineering degree, I remembered the face of Vijay. Because I know with one smile and a bit of hard work, I can overcome my distress. So you have the character, you are the character of your story. You will have conflict in your life, but you have to overcome. And that's the conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. When you have those powerful stories, you build audience around you. How many of you resonated with the story of maybe not the first one, but Vijay? How many of you recollected your childhood friends? Raise your hands, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you remembered the gullies that you have played? Maybe the cricket, maybe gilli danda, maybe lagori. You build your audience by creating content. What I did now is I shared a vulnerable story from my life, which created a connection with you. The person in my life who transformed me, his name is Vijay. But for you, it could be someone. I don't know. But we are humans. And when you narrate your story, I will get connected with you because we are humans and we share the same emotions. And then once you have your audience getting built, you need to optimize. So this is a bit of technical aspect that when you create content by sharing your stories and you have connection with the audience, and when they come from various channels and you know that these are the people that I can help or I can get help from, you start optimizing. Maybe the kind of audience, maybe the kind of content as well. Acha, now टोटकी बहुत हो गया. Now a little bit of fun time. So let me share the screen and were you able to smile? Were you able to get a smile when that lady was laughing? That's another hormone for you. But before that, the element of ChatGPT and AI that I want to share with you, you are going to get in two formats. One is the storytelling format that Elon Musk actually uses to pitch for his clients. So that's one PDF for you. And the second one is a small ebook which will help you to create your content on LinkedIn using the power of storytelling. To get those things, come join our Facebook group. Yeah. So let's me take further the journey of this. So the lady has laughed so much. So what you experience now is the endorphins, the hormone that makes us smile. It makes us creative. It makes us relaxed. So ladies and gentlemen, your story should trigger at the end of the day some chemicals inside the other person's body. I already spoke about the first thing, cortisol, oxytocin, and the third one is endorphin. All three combined is called the angel's cocktail. So to summarize the next steps as to how you can use the power of storytelling to create your content, to get the results that you want, because you are able to impact the person in the way that you want. And let me warn you, you can use the stories for good cause, and you can use the same stories, and it's called dark psychology, to get something done from others without their intention, because you have manipulated them. Maybe once you can manipulate, once you can play with their emotion, maybe twice, thrice, depending on the other person's mental resilience. But over a time, you will be caught. So the next steps that I am going to share is that you, through your content, go ahead and create lot of Angel's cocktail and then share it to the audience. You will see people coming to you in leaps and bounds, because we all are bound by the same emotions. When you induce empathy into the story, you will have them resonated with you. If you induce motivation, creativity, and all those things, your trials and turbulences, where you speak something called as your hero's journey, because you are the character, you had the conflict, you overcame out of it, and you had a conclusion, which is something that you can take away from that incident, and you are ready to share it to the world. So share more of your Angel's cocktail. Believe that you are a storyteller. The person standing before you at one point of time was running away from people. I mean to say, small group of people, even to make friends, I used to shiver. My hands used to become wet. My throat used to go dry. Now, I am in front of you talking about these things. Believe that you are a great storyteller, because you are. And finally, collect the stories. If you can go back to the room and start collecting your stories, you will find out that there are many stories that you can find in your life. Collect all those incidents from your childhood, the experiences that were giving you happiness, the experiences that gave you sadness, the accident that you have seen. Like last year, when I was coming from market, there was this person honking so much behind me that I gave him the way, and he just went ahead so fast, and there was a blind turn right in front of us. When my small son at that point of time, who was just 6 years old, saw the car hitting two people coming on a motorbike, and literally he saw, like a movie, this person toppling over in the air from the bike and falling on the ground. My son, within 16 hours, was with high fever. Till today, when I ask him, he gets scared because of that incident. And he is afraid to get into the car. It will take a while for him to get into the car. So collect and categorize your stories, because they are your stories and they matter a lot. Understand which story will create an emotion of humor, Which story will create an emotion of motivation? Which story will create an emotion of empathy? But remember one thing, in that story, you have to be the character. The narration has to be from your side. The hero's journey is yours. It's not someone's, it's yours. So ensure that aspect, collect the stories and categorize. I did that, and that's the reason why I was able to pull out a leaf from that story. And whenever, how many ever times I talk about Vijay, I feel that emotion churn in my stomach. So collect your stories. That's the next step. Why? Why am I harping so much on storytelling? It's in our genes. When early man was not able to communicate anything and was able to only draw pictures, what he was conveying to his fellow cavemen was the hunting that he did. There was no language to speak. Maybe the languages would have come 6,000, 7,000 years. Some people say 8,000, 9,000. Okay. But before that, it was all pictures and sounds. We have the element of storytelling in our genes already inbuilt. Now, do I have a commitment from your side that you will incorporate and become an enigmatic storyteller from tomorrow and add value to your brand? Give any emotion. I'm going to look at the emotions that you show as a thumbs up or something that you from tomorrow will be adding an element of storytelling in your content creation. Do I have your agreement on that? Show some emotion. Maybe raise a hand and say to yourself that, yes, from tomorrow, if I create the content, there will be an element of story in that. Become an enigmatic storyteller. Use the ChatGPT prompts that are being given to you in the Facebook group by joining the group. So tomorrow you are going to see this wonderful session and to ask yourself, an opportunity to ask yourself, to introspect yourself. And this lady I have spoken, so jovial. I mean, she will completely fill you with endorphins. But talking about a serious topic about your next career leap. So do not miss tomorrow. And for that, these are the important rules. You have heard multiple number of times, seen multiple number of times, but we will not take a back step, and we want you to remind again and again and again, because we want you to have so much growth in your career, and we are hell-bent on that. That's our motivation. That's our purpose. So join our WhatsApp community to download whatever the things are there. I mean, in the Facebook for WhatsApp community to get the details, and set a reminder for tomorrow. Share the post that you are seeing on Career Dwar LinkedIn page or anywhere that you see that we are posting. Reshare it, repost it, tell to your friends. Let us build a better world. See you soon.